Hello, and welcome to a podcast about flags. I've always found flags weirdly interesting, and yes, I know it's weird. I remember posters on classroom walls detailing the flags of the world and spending time memorizing what various flags looked like, where in the world those countries were. Maybe I was imagining a time in the future where my life would depend on telling you how many national flags in the world have dragons on them. Or maybe I was thinking that I could win my class an extra 5 minutes playing football at lunchtime that week. Vexillology is a word for the study of flags, and also a word I constantly mispronounce. There are several generally accepted rules of vexillology as to what makes a good flag. Ted Kay from the North American Vexillological Association published a pamphlet called Good Flag, Bad Flag that contained 5 key principles of designing a good flag. Keep it simple. A child should be able to easily draw the flag from memory. Use meaningful symbolism. The flag's details should relate to what it represents and what symbolism it uses. Use 2 or 3 basic colours. Limit the colours to 2 or 3 contrasting colours that come from the standard basic colour set. No lettering or seals. Avoid using local group seals or lettering on your flag. Be distinctive or related. Try not to reuse pre-existing flags, but if you do, use similarities to show connections between the places. While these rules are a good standard to go by, I don't think they need to be applied as rigidly as you'd think. Simplicity is, generally speaking, a good design principle, but having complicated elements isn't necessarily a bad thing. The same goes for being distinct. So many countries, cities, and regions have a flag made up of 2 horizontal bands, one white and one red. This similarity doesn't mean any of the flags mean any less, or are any worse by default, nor does it necessarily betray any crucial historical link between Monaco and Indonesia. Essentially, these rules should be taken as a suggestion or a guide, not hard and fast laws. In future episodes, when discussing flags and if they're good or bad, I'm going to go by the rule of, to paraphrase a famous quote, I can't define what makes a good flag, but I know it when I see it. To follow along to the show, then subscribe to the pod wherever you're listening to it now. Follow me on Twitter at RBOSul to keep in touch and to get sneak previews of future episodes. And whatever other nonsense I'm up to, really. Thanks again for listening to a podcast about flags.